The underworld has its own set of rules. The Continental Hotel, for example, is a sanctuary where assassins are forbidden from harming one another. They are free to eliminate their targets outside, but inside, no one can lay a finger on anyone. However, in John Wick, we witness John breaking this sacred rule. He kills a man inside the Continental. As a result, the High Table, the supreme authority governing assassins, declares him excommunicado, meaning he is no longer part of their world. To ensure his demise, they place a $14 million bounty on his head. Anyone who kills him will claim the reward instantly. Aware of his dire situation, John formulates a plan. With a storm brewing around him, he heads to a library in New York, where he retrieves a hidden stash containing a photo of his late wife and a few valuable pendants. John's hidden stash includes medals and coins, which will play a crucial role in his survival later. While still in the library, an assassin attempts to kill him, leading to an intense fight. In the end, John uses a book as a deadly weapon, eliminating his attacker. As he leaves, a skilled Korean gang pursues him relentlessly, forcing John to fight for his life while trying to escape. Meanwhile, a high-ranking member of the High Table, known as the Adjudicator, arrives. She meets Winston, the Continental Hotel manager, and a powerful crime lord, warning them both to surrender for aiding John's escape. If they refuse, she makes it clear that they will face severe consequences. After surviving the relentless attacks, John reaches an auditorium where he meets the director. This place holds deep significance for him, as it is where he spent his childhood and received his training. The director is responsible for training boys in combat and teaching girls the art of dance. When John asks for her help, she initially refuses. However, he immediately presents his medallion, a powerful token in the assassin world that signifies an unbreakable debt. According to the rules, anyone holding this medal must be granted assistance, no matter the circumstances. Bound by this obligation, the director agrees and arranges a safe passage for John to Casablanca. Upon arriving safely, John reunites with his old friend and former trainer, Sophia, a skilled assassin and a key figure in the underworld. Aware of John's dire situation, Sophia hesitates, making it clear that she cannot afford to put herself in danger by helping him. At this point, we learn that John Wick once helped Sophia many years ago. In return, Sophia had given him a pendant, a symbol of an unbreakable promise. Whenever he needed help, she would come to his aid. She acknowledges that she cannot break this vow, as pendants hold immense significance in their world and must be honored. Upon seeing the medal, Sophia remembers her debt and agrees to assist John. He explains that he must meet the Elder at any cost. The Elder is the highest-ranking figure in the High Table, overseeing all its operations. John's only hope is to request the removal of the contract on his head so that he can live in peace. With Sophia's reluctant assistance, they track down a local contact who can help them reach the Elder. They meet the local man because he knows the Elder's location. He tells them that the Elder resides deep within the desert, and the only way to find him is to walk endlessly. Eventually, the Elder will find them himself. However, in exchange for this information, the man demands something valuable. He sets his sights on Sophia's highly trained and beloved dogs. Sophia, deeply attached to them, refuses outright. Enraged by her defiance, the man shoots one of the dogs. Though the dog's bulletproof vest saves its life, Sophia is furious. Without hesitation, she shoots the man in retaliation, triggering an intense fight. In this action-packed sequence, John, Sophia, and even her dogs take on the man's guards, eliminating them one by one. After the brutal battle, John and Sophia manage to escape. Meanwhile, Adjudicator learns that the director helped John flee, setting the stage for serious consequences. Adjudicator arrives at the director's location and punishes her for aiding John Wick. As a brutal consequence, a large knife is driven through her hands, serving as both a warning and a lesson. Meanwhile, John, Sophia, and her dogs arrive at the desert location provided by the local man. However, Sophia reminds John that her promise was only to guide him there, not to accompany him further. Keeping her word, she bids John farewell and returns to her home, leaving him alone in the vast, empty desert. Under the scorching sun, John walks tirelessly in search of the elder, but there is no sign of life for miles. Exhausted and dehydrated, he eventually collapses, overcome by the relentless heat. After some time, a passing caravan spots his unconscious body. One of the men rescues him and takes him to the elder's hidden location. Inside an opulent tent in the heart of the desert, John Wick finally comes face to face with the elder. In the desert, John Wick is surrounded by elephants as he pleads with the elder for a way out of his dire situation. He explains that he's lost everything: his wife, his dog, and now he simply doesn't want to die. After listening to John's desperate request, the elder offers him two choices. The first option is for John to kill Winston, the manager of the Continental Hotel, his close friend. The second option is refusal, which results in John's death. John, torn between the two options, knows that Winston is his best friend, someone he doesn't want to harm. But with no other way out, he reluctantly chooses the first option. To seal the deal, the elder asks him to cut off his finger, a symbolic gesture to prove his commitment and trust in the agreement. After cutting his finger, John is sent back to New York to carry out the grim task. Meanwhile, Adjudicator, a high-ranking member of the High Table, hires a fearsome assassin named Zero, known for his bald head and his terrifying reputation. Zero is the only one capable of facing John Wick and is given the task of finding and killing him. While Zero prepares for his mission, Adjudicator visits the local crime lord she had previously warned to surrender. Since he refused, as punishment, she has him beaten mercilessly by her enforcer, Hunter, who strikes him 7 times. The crime lord survives, but his condition is gravely worsened. The story progresses as John Wick arrives back in New York, but he's not alone. Zero and his entire team, now on his trail, begin their pursuit to track down and kill John Wick. The chase intensifies as John Wick is pursued by Zero and his team on motorcycles. The action scenes are spectacularly choreographed, adding an exhilarating energy to the movie. John manages to survive the pursuit and takes refuge inside the Hotel Continental, a safe haven where no one can be killed, ensuring his temporary safety. Inside, John meets the hotel manager, who calmly tells him that he knows about the contract to kill him. The manager, however, offers no resistance, acknowledging their friendship and saying that if it comes to that, John is free to kill him. But before anything can happen, Adjudicator arrives, demanding that John fulfill the contract and kill the hotel manager. John refuses, standing firm in his decision, and the hotel manager also refuses to surrender. Enraged, Adjudicator warns them both of the consequences. She tells them that in a matter of hours, the Hotel Continental will lose its sanctity and no longer be a neutral ground in the underworld. The situation escalates quickly as the Hotel Continental loses its immunity. Adjudicator declares that from now on, anyone can kill anyone inside the hotel, with no restrictions. The hotel is no longer part of the High Tables, and any contracts made there will no longer be honored. This message is broadcasted to assassins around the world, signaling that the rules have changed. Soon after, a heavily armed force enters the hotel, sent by Adjudicator to take down John Wick and the hotel manager. Meanwhile, Zero and his gang, also under Adjudicator's command, arrive at the hotel with the same goal: to kill John. What follows is an intense battle. On one side, there's John Wick, the hotel manager, and their allies. On the other, there's the armed force and Zero's gang, all converging inside the hotel. The action scenes are intense as John fights back, using weapons to eliminate the incoming forces, creating a spectacle of violence and survival. After taking down the armed forces, John Wick continues his fight with Zero's gang in a room filled with glass, making it difficult for him to detect where each enemy is hiding. The battle intensifies, but in the end, John manages to kill Zero, marking a pivotal moment in the fight. Seeing the toll it's taking on her forces, Adjudicator comes up with a new plan. She recognizes that John Wick is proving to be a formidable opponent, and she needs to strike a deal to handle him. Meanwhile, the hotel manager is supplying John with weapons, making it even harder for the gang to succeed. Adjudicator tries to manipulate the situation by playing politics. She contacts the hotel manager and makes him an offer. If he kills John Wick, she will restore his hotel to its former status. The manager would regain control over the hotel, and all its business rights would be returned to him. This would put John's life at even greater risk, as now the manager has to decide whether to betray his friend for the promise of regaining power. Adjudicator offers the hotel manager even more power by promising him a stake in the high table if he kills John Wick. Meanwhile, John manages to make his way to the hotel, and upon discovering what's been happening, he confronts the hotel manager. The manager admits his desperation to maintain his hotel's position, as it's something he has worked hard for over the years. In a heartbreaking moment, the manager shoots John Wick, sending him falling off the roof to a trash can below. Adjudicator commends the manager for his actions and leaves, eager to confirm that John Wick is truly dead. However, when she checks the body, John is nowhere to be found. She warns the manager that if John Wick is still alive, he will be a danger to both of them, and they'll have no choice but to kill him. At this moment, a dog, John Wick's dog, runs toward a stretcher where John is lying, still alive but badly injured, signaling that the fight is far from over. The savior of John Wick turns out to be the local crime lord who had been attacked by Hunter Adjudicator. This crime lord saves John Wick because he harbors his own deep desire for revenge against the high tables. He asks John if he's as angry as he is, if he too wants to take revenge. Despite his injuries, John responds affirmatively, showing his willingness to continue the fight. The two of them might just join forces to take down the high tables together. That's where my prediction stands. If you enjoyed this explanation, don't forget to like the video. And with that, the explanation of John Wick concludes.